am here with Vacation Under the Volcano. So we last finished chapter 4, and we are on chapter 5 called Books. Jack and Annie ran up to the front entrance of the villa. Jack pushed open the door. "Go in, hurry," said Annie. They slipped into the main hall. "Hello?" Annie called. There was no answer. The place seemed empty. The main hall had a large opening in the ceiling. Below it was a small stone pool filled with water. Jack looked at it carefully. "Oh, I bet the rain comes in through the hole," said Jack. "Then it lands in that pool so they can use it for their water." He started to take out his notebook to make a note. "There's no time, Jack," said Annie. "We have to look in all the rooms for books." Okay. Calm down," said Jack. He put away his notebook and followed Annie. Books, she said, peering into a room off the hall. She moved to the next room. Books. Then she moved on to the next. Jack trailed behind her. Even though she had already checked the rooms, he took a quick peek in each of them. He wanted to see what a house in Roman times looked like. He'd write notes later. The first 2 rooms had wooden beds. The walls had pictures painted on them. The floors were covered with tiny pieces of colored stone. The third room had a low table with silver dishes on it. 3 sloping couches were placed around the table. The couches were covered with pillows. This must be the dining room," said Jack. "People from Roman times lay down on couches while they ate. Did you know that?" He looked around for Annie. Where was she? "Jack, come here," Annie called. Jack followed her voice. She was in a garden off the dining room. It had a stone patio, palm trees, and grapevines. In the middle was a pond with a mermaid fountain. Goldfish swam in the water. "Look, there's another room," said Annie. She moved to the door of a room off the garden. She opened the door and peeked inside. Jack looked with her. Along the walls of the room were long shelves with rolls of paper on them. "Rats," said Annie. "No books." She closed the door. "No books in this whole villa. Let's get out of here." "Just a minute," said Jack. "I have an idea." He pulled out his book on Roman times. He found a section called Writing. He read, "Romans used pens made of small reeds. Their ink came partly from the black ink of octopuses. They wrote their books on scrolls of papyrus paper." "Aha," said Jack. "That's a library of scrolls. I bet our ancient lost story is in there." Chapter 6 is called The End is Here. Jack threw open the door of the room of scrolls. He and Annie rushed in and ran over to the shelves. Jack pulled out the piece of paper with the Latin title on it. Ver fortissimus in mundo. "Okay," he said, "we have to find the scroll with this title." They began frantically unrolling scrolls one by one. They were all handwritten in Latin. "Here it is," said Annie. She held up a scroll. The words at the top matched with the one on their paper. "Yay!" said Jack. "I wish I could read Latin so we could find out what the story is." "Don't think about it now," said Annie. "Let's go." Annie handed the scroll to Jack, then started out of the room. "Come on," she said. "Bring it." "I just want to check and see what the story's about," said Jack. He put the scroll in the leather bag. Then he flipped through the book on Roman times, looking for a picture of the ancient scroll. In the middle of the book, he found a picture of a volcano erupting over a town. Under the picture was written, "For 800 years, Mount Vesuvius was a peaceful mountain, rising above the town of Pompeii. Then, at noon on August 24th, AD 79, it erupted into a deadly volcano." "Oh, no," whispered Jack. "August 24th, AD 79. That's today." "Oh, man, What time is it? He looked around wildly. Annie! She was gone again. Annie! Jack grabbed the leather bag. Then, clutching the book, he tore out of the scroll room. Annie! He cried. What? Annie appeared at the door to the dining room. Volcano, Jack stuttered. What? Said Annie. It's coming, a volcano at noon, said Jack. Annie gasped. What time is it? Cried Jack. So that's what the soothsayer meant, Annie said. The end is near. What time is it? Jack asked again. He looked around the garden. He saw something near the mermaid fountain. A sundial, he said. That's how Romans told time. Jack and Annie raced to the sundial. What time does it say? Said Annie. I don't know, said Jack. His hands shook as he turned the pages of the book. He stopped on a picture of a sundial. It showed examples of different times. Jack looked back and forth from the page to the real sundial in the garden. Here, he said. He had found the one that matched. Jack read the writing under the picture. The shadow on the sundial can hardly be seen at noon. Oh, man, he whispered. He looked at Annie. The end isn't near. The end is here. Just then, he heard a terrible blast. It was the loudest sound he had ever heard. So chapter 7 is next. Chapter 7 is called The Sky is Falling. So I will read that to you guys tomorrow. And then the next day we'll read the other ones. So I hope that you guys are enjoying your time. I do miss you all. And I look forward to being in touch. I sent some work to your moms and dads for you. So I hope that you can do that and enjoy that. And until next time for Chapter 7, I'll see you soon.